This week we're going to highlight the price reaction in old and new crop soybean futures on the date that the USDA releases its prospective plantings and grain stocks reports. We're also going to take a look at the latest trends in U.S. soybean export sales and wrap things up looking at weather trends in Argentina. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the soybean market. We moved into the final days of March here, and there's some very important information coming out from the USDA. On March 31st, the USDA will release two important reports. The prospective plantings report, which will give us our first survey-based estimate of acreage here for 2022. And the USDA will also release their quarterly grain stocks reports. Often the markets have been proven to be quite volatile on the date that those reports are released. Let's take a look at that recent history. What this slide shows is the blue bar is old crop May soybean futures. The change again from the previous day on the date that those reports are released. And the red bar is the new crop November soybean futures. Notice last year we've had limit up moves. Now there have been years where it's been not quite as volatile, the previous 2 years for example, but notice going back in time. Going back to years like 2008, 2013, we did see sharp moves to the downside. Here's the key message. Strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to have your risk management strategy in place prior to the release of these reports on March 31st. And a reminder, we'll be live next week on YouTube after the reports are released. Let's move forward now and take a look at the latest export trends in U.S. soybeans. We're going to start out here highlighting the trends in weekly unshipped export sales of U.S. beans. Typically this time of year, moving into February, March, you can see those trends are moving lower as the market anticipates large crops from South America. Here's the key message that we want to highlight, however. Look at the change in this year in that purple line. That purple line is trending up, particularly since the 1st of January. What buyers have realized is that there's going to be a much smaller than expected supply from South America. So we may be seeing some panic buying in terms of looking to get more of the beans from the U.S. Now let's move on and focus on where these beans, the unshipped beans, are by region. Notice here we're looking at the second highest total ever in terms of unshipped sales for 21-22. Here's a key caution note, however. There's 153 million bushels on the books to unknown destinations. Until those beans are actually shipped, they could be canceled or they could be rolled into new crop. We'll just have to wait and see, but that's a very large quantity of beans that are still on the books at this time to unknown destinations. Let's move on now and focus on soybean trends in Argentina. Let's take a look at where those beans are produced in Argentina. Now we're looking at the three key provinces here in Argentina: Buenos Aires, Cordoba, and Santa Fe. And those account for roughly about 80% of the beans in Argentina. Now harvest really hasn't started yet in Argentina, so it's important to monitor weather trends as we go through the final stages of pod set and pod fill. This week we're going to take a look at short-term weather trends with slides courtesy of T-Storm Weather. We're starting out here looking at subsoil moisture over the last 30 days, a proxy of subsoil moisture, and look at that nice improvement for that area for the soybeans. It had been quite dry. There has been some irreversible yield damage done to those beans. We'll just have to wait and see as harvest gets going here in April how much damage was confirmed. Deep subsoil moisture, again, 60-day period here. Again, an improvement, at bare minimum, a stabilization of those bushels. Finally, the next 14 days here, looking at a drier pattern here. That's not really as serious as what it would have been 2-3 weeks ago when those beans were earlier in the development stage. Let's wrap things up this week looking at trends in November soybean futures. Now November soybean futures continue to trend higher here. As we tape on Tuesday, November 2022 is near $14.95 a bushel. That's the highest level ever for late March for November soybean futures. So we strongly encourage you to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage price movement. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update. And remember, next week, you can follow us on YouTube at 11:20 Central Time for a live recap of the March 31st USDA reports. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.